Welcome back and welcome to Keeping Up with Cam. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning into our channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you're a returning subby, thank you guys so much for coming back. I do want to say this is a little bit of a different setup. We are not doing a braided style today, but I will be talking to you about our favorite products, things that we don't like, and just how we go about taking care of Kamari's hair. You guys have asked me product recommendations and questions and stuff like that, so I figured why not make a video to help everybody out. All right, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna give you guys my top 3 shampoos. I don't really like to use too many products. I don't like to go back and forth between things, so I don't have a lot of favorites, so it's gonna be kind of easy to let you guys know what I do like. In regards to shampoos, my top 3 are the Shea Moisture Mango and Carrot Kids shampoo, the Cantu Care for Kids shampoo, and Mane and Tail. So the Shea Moisture shampoo I have been using since he was a baby. I would say since he had hair, but he was born with hair, so realistically that doesn't work. But since I started actually doing his hair, that's when I started using this shampoo. It was the first brand that I went to, as it is marketed for kids' hair. They do have a baby line, but I didn't do the baby. I found that the baby line, or at least what we have available, was more like 2-in-1, 3-in-1, like bath, body, hair type of stuff, and I'd rather have things separate, not all together. So I started with the Shea Moisture. Now I will tell you guys, it is, to this day, he will be 5 soon, to this day, my favorite shampoo. I hope they don't change the formula. I hope nothing, messes it up, knock on wood at this point, but it is definitely my go-to. It smells great. I'm not a smells type of person. I don't like for things to be really fragrancy, because I find like that just means more chemicals in there, and that's what we're trying to stay away for with their hair. With our hair as well, but with kids' hair especially. So it has a great smell, but the smell doesn't stay when you use it. Like, it's just for while you're shampooing, and then once you're done and you're like styling your hair, you don't still smell it. So that for me is really important. It has great slip. I can put the smallest amount on there and just it works through the hair so well. There's no tangles, there's no friction, it doesn't feel dry or squeaky, the squeaky clean feeling. I hate that. That means at that point you've already stripped away all the proteins and all the things that you actually need in the hair. Yeah, we're trying to clean it, but we're not trying to destroy it. So this shampoo definitely has the perfect slip. I actually end up doing a lot of detangling with this shampoo because it allows for that. It doesn't break the hair, it doesn't pull on the hair. So I do a lot of wide tooth and finger detangling so that when we get to the conditioner part, it's a lot easier. Now, I do suggest detangling before you start washing their hair, but a lot of the time his hair has been in a ponytail for like 2-3 days going to school, and it's thick. When he goes to school with a ponytail, I'm not combing or brushing through that every day. Absolutely not. We are getting up in the morning, I'm spritzing it with some water, laying it down with some product if need be, and brushing it up. So taking it out from a ponytail from 2-3 days where it's just been brushed for those 2-3 days to detangle before washing, for me, doesn't make sense. I don't want to run the risk of breaking, pulling, shedding, all of that stuff. So I detangle in the water. The best bet is to detangle with conditioner, but because this shampoo works so well, I do start my detangling with the shampoo and then I do the rest with the conditioner. Honestly, I have no cons when it comes to this shampoo except for the fact that it's a little costly. When he was young, I think it was about $11-12.99 for the bottle. It's now like $16 depending on where you go, and the bottles aren't that big. So that's the thing. If the bottles were bigger and you were getting more product, understandable. But with the amount of product that you get and the amount of hair and thickness that he has, it doesn't last. Well, the conditioner, I would say, in that size doesn't last that long, but the shampoo lasts a little bit longer because you're not using as much shampoo to do what you need to do with it. So the shampoo can last for a while. The conditioner's like 2 days, but yeah, so that's the only con that I have in regards to that. But overall, if you can afford it, if you can find it, that's the shampoo that I suggest. So now the second would be the Cantu Care for Kids shampoo. This was just like our go-to, our backup if we couldn't find the Shea Moisture, or if I just didn't want to spend that much money at that time. I would go to this. It was originally $5.99 Canadian. It's now gone up to, I think, $6.99, but that's not really that much of a difference. It comes in a fairly good sized bottle. The thing is, this one's skinnier, the Shea Moisture is fatter, so I don't know if they're actually the same amount of product. I assume they probably would be, but again, this one lasts long as well. The slip is decent. There's no strong smell. I don't really detangle with this one. This one I leave more to detangle with the conditioner in. But I have no cons. It works well. It's a great budget friendly shampoo. This line is kind of hit or miss. Some products work really well, some products don't. Some people love this entire line of products, and some, like us, only use the shampoo and conditioner. I haven't found any other products with them that I really enjoy that work well in his hair. So the shampoo is fine, the conditioner is fine, but I'm staying away from other stuff. Okay, so next we have the Mane and Tail products. Now, Mane and Tail, they have different like subsections to it. Like you can get the curly, I believe there's a curly one. You can get like a curly one, you can get hydrating, moisture boost. Like there's different, you know, avenues to it. But I just go with the regular one. This is also especially well. Sometimes I use two. I'll use the Shea Moisture, the Cantu, and I'll use the Mane and Tail. I would use the Mane and Tail first because it is a clarifying shampoo. So if you've had a style in for a long time, that means you've had product buildup in there. Or you've done like a week of ponytails and you've just been putting like your gel or whatever on top of it and going, you're gonna want to use a clarifying shampoo at some point because you want to get all of that dirt out, especially with low porosity hair, because it's already hard for the moisture and the products to penetrate the hair shaft. So if we have a whole bunch of residue on it, nothing's gonna happen. But the thing is, with clarifying shampoos, they are drying, so that's why I use it one round of the shampoo and I use it before whatever regular shampoo I'm using. So I'll use Mane and Tail, do one great wash, and then I'll do 1 or 2 with the Shea Moisture, or 1 or 2 with the Cantu. So this is something good to keep in your cupboard just in case. You're not going to go through it as quickly. The bottle is definitely bigger, and it lasts longer because, like I said, I'm not using it on a regular basis, but it is something that's really good to have. All right, so on to conditioners. We have the matching pair, essentially. We have the Shea Moisture Mango and Carrot Kids Conditioner. This, again, love this product. I can't like rave enough about it. The only thing, it is expensive, so I didn't use it too often. Also because here it was readily available for a while, and then I wasn't seeing the conditioner a lot. I was seeing more like the leave-in conditioner and the shampoo. So I was able to get the shampoo for a longer amount of time than I was able to get the conditioner. So that's why I even started using the Cantu line, because I was like, I'd rather have the same shampoo and conditioner from the same brand. But now I'm like, listen, whatever I can find, whatever I can get my hands on, whatever costs less. So I oftentimes do use the Shea Moisture shampoo, and then I use the Cantu conditioner. But for the Shea Moisture conditioner, it works well. Again, it has a smell, but it's not too strong and it doesn't like sit in the hair. It has great slip. It works wonderful for me detangling with the conditioner in. It's not too thick. That's something that I really hate, because again, that just sits on the hair. It's not penetrating it. It's not helping. It's not staying in the hair. And then the hair is just going to dry out in a day or two. So this one is my #1 absolute favorite. The only con is that it is a little bit on the expensive side, and it's not as available for us in Canada as it should be, I think. So #2 will be the Cantu Care for Kids moisturizing or nourishing conditioner. Again, it's great. It works well. It's cost effective. The size isn't the best. I mean, I wish there was more, especially because conditioners, you go through conditioners so quickly, so easily when they have thick hair, when they have curly hair, when they have a lot of hair. It's so easy to just finish a bottle in like 1 or 2 wash days. But with the Cantu one, what I will say, I found as his hair textures have started to change in the back, I found that the back is a little bit more tight compared to the front, where it's a looser like 3C, let's say, type of texture. The Cantu conditioner is thick. So what I do is I actually add water to it. I take like the top bit out and put it in like a sandwich bag, not a plastic bag, yeah, like a sandwich bag. And then I'll add the water, I'll shake it up, and I'll use that. And then once I'm done using it for that day, I'll put the one in the sandwich bag back inside, because we're not wasting, we're not throwing away, we're not losing any of this. It costs a lot to begin with. We need all our product. So yeah, I do add water to it. I just find that it helps with the consistency. It helps to, again, penetrate that hair shaft and actually do what it's supposed to do, instead of just sitting on the hair, washing out, and then the hair is dry in a day or 2. Now, last but not least, we have the Aussie Curly Hair Conditioner. They do also have a shampoo, but I'm not really a fan of the Aussie line. I just find that it's kind of geared more towards a 3A2 type of texture, not really like our coarser textures. So I've really steered clear of them. I find that it's just kind of drying of a product, but I got to a point where I needed to wash his hair one day. I think he had like, I don't know, he had something that he had to go to and I had to do his hair. The hair store is a lot farther away than Walmart. And I was like, hopefully Walmart has something, because they do have like the black product aisle. We just don't have that much selection, and it's really nothing for kids. It's more so for adults, and I don't want to use adult products. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's a conditioner. It can't be that bad. Let's see what we can do, because I still had shampoo. Like I said, the shampoo lasts, the conditioner, not so much. So I picked this up, and it actually works really, really well. I will say I love how the hair feels when it has the conditioner on. I find that it's not thick, it coats the hair properly, it works through well, it rinses out well. It does leave a scent on the hair. I will say that you will definitely know that you use this conditioner like 2-3 days down the line. You're like, oh yeah, this thing. But I also feel like it's drying after a couple days. Like, I use it today and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I, do the LCO method and like go about my business. And then like, I'll take it out and like go to braid his hair, and I'm like, the hair feels kind of dry-ish. I don't know if the word that I want to use is dry, but it feels different. So I don't like how it feels a couple days after using it. I have enlisted a leave-in conditioner that I'm trying now to see if maybe that's what the issue is and combating it with that. But it's not dry to the point where it's like breaking or it's damaging the hair, but it is just a different feel to the hair when I use that. So if you're looking for something different, if you do have more of a 3 to a 2 type of texture that you're working with, I would say that this Aussie curly hair conditioner works. And I think it's about probably like $6 Canadian, so it's not as expensive as the Shea Moisture. Okay, so leave-ins. I've just started using leave-ins. I've never really found a use for them because I usually do the LCO or the LOC method after doing the hair, and I find that keeps the moisture in. But as I did start feeling the hair feeling a little bit different after using that conditioner, I said, you know what? No harm, no foul. Let's try it out. So I picked up the Dippity Doo Girls with Curls leave-in conditioner, again from Walmart. So I will probably have a look into getting something from the hair store. I will say I tried one before, and I'll let you guys know about it a little bit later in the video. I did try a different leave-in conditioner and I was like, no. So I don't know. But this one, it went onto the hair well. It's not thick, there's no real buildup, it doesn't leave the hair sticky, it doesn't leave your hand sticky. That's important. Oh, I hate that feeling. I just don't know if it really did much. After using it, I did his hair into, I think, single braids. Yeah, so I haven't taken that style out yet, so I'm like, I don't know how well it has worked. And I also want to try it out when his hair like isn't even in a protective style, when it's just like in ponytails, or yeah, ponytails, buns, whatever. Not a bun, yeah, ponytail. When it's in ponytails for a week, I want to see how it helps keep that moisture in while he's going day to day, and just kind of, you know, living with the hair out. So I will have more of an update on that one. If you guys have used it, let me know if you actually enjoy it. I don't know if it's a Canadian brand and it may only be available here. But if you guys have got your hands on it, let me know if you like it or if you have any questions about it. So since I haven't really been immersed in the leave-in conditioner world, I don't have many to recommend, but I have heard only good things about the Camille Rose Naturals Honey Hydrate Leave-In. I think it's also like a two-step system. I think there's like 2 products you're supposed to use. I've been wanting to try it for a while. It is a little bit on the expensive side. And when I went to go look for it, I couldn't find it at my store at that time, so that's why I had to just get something else. But once this is done, or once I really want to actually take leave-in conditioners seriously, I will be trying that, and I'll let you guys know how I like that. Honey is one of the best things you can use in hair, but you have to be careful about how you go about it. You don't want to just, you know, take the honey out of your pantry and just put it in their hair, which it's not, you know, that bad, but you also want to have other things. You want to have your oils and stuff in there so it's actually helping and benefiting the hair. So this is formulated, you know, it is formulated especially for hair, so you don't have to really do the work as if you were doing like a DIY hair mask or anything like that. Also, I find that honey is something that works for all hair types, all porosity. You don't really have to worry, like if you're like protein deficient or whatever, like you can put that on and not really have to worry about negative side effects to your hair. So I do want to try it. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet. But when I do, I will let you guys know if you have tried it, because like I said, I've heard nothing but good things. So let me know in the comments if you've tried it, if you have somebody that you know that's tried it, and how you guys feel about it, so that I can have a little bit of an idea of what I'm getting into when I purchase it myself. Okay, next, detanglers. I've got nothing for you guys. I honestly, I don't use a detangler. I don't use a leave-in detangler or curl detangler or anything. We don't typically detangle without washing. So there's not much I can recommend. There's not much I've really looked into because, like I said, I don't use it and I don't really have a need for it. My go-to is just to make sure that the hair is hydrated, and then I detangle with a wide tooth comb or my fingers in the wash with either the shampoo and or conditioner. That's my go-to. Saves you a couple dollars, honestly. I feel like sometimes these products are just a money grab and you really don't even need them. But I mean, I do have a friend, she uses a detangler in her daughter's hair, so it works. Or there's people who find that it's beneficial. For us, I just found no use. All right, so moisturizers and creams. So my number 1 is the Shea Moisture Kids Coconut and Hibiscus Curling Buttercream. That is a mouthful, absolute mouthful. And again, this is another product that I discovered when he was small and I was trying to figure out what to put in his hair. His hair type at that point was like all 3. It was like 3A, 3B. It's now more like 3B, 3C, 4A. He is now, you know, 4, almost 5, compared to like 1.5, 2 when I first started using these products. But this product still works really well. Again, my problem with it is a small container and it is a high price tag. So if you have a lot of hair, it's not as beneficial to be buying these every couple days. But I do like how the product works in his hair. I just haven't been using it lately. Second, I was using this really often recently. It's the, oh, thought I deleted everything. It is the Mielle Moisture RX Hawaiian Ginger Moisturizing Hair Butter. I don't know why these are all like 60 names just to say one thing. And I'm pretty sure I'm saying Mielle wrong. Mielle, I don't know. I'm sorry. I use the product. It's not like it was sent to me or I'm sponsored. This is me buying things out of my own pocket, so I don't know how to pronounce it. If y'all want to let me know down there, like, you know, the, what is it, the phonetically correct, I think it's called, like, you know, you spell it out like in the dictionary, please, by all means, because I don't know what I'm saying half the time. I will say I did enjoy that product. It is a bigger container. It is an adult product. It is not for kids' hair. So I took a chance because I was just like, what am I gonna use? What am I gonna use? A lot of the things that were left for me to choose from were like Cantu and stuff, and I don't do Cantu. There's just so many options in the US and there's not that many options here, and I don't want to pay for something through Amazon or through the company's website and I'm paying duties and taxes and border money and all of that stuff, and then I get it and then it just doesn't work for us, and I've just wasted not only my pocket money from across the street and my gas, I've also wasted a whole bunch of other fees and service taxes and all of that. So when I do go across the border, I will be getting my hands on some things from like Target and the hair stores over there. I just haven't had the chance to go yet. I wanted to go over like the Christmas season, but it was hectic and that didn't happen and we weren't here for Christmas. So that hasn't happened yet, but soon, we will get over there and I will get some new products. So if you guys would, I would love for you guys to let me know what products I should be looking for, what products I should get, where I should go to get them, because I'm definitely coming back with like half of a hair store in the back of the car because I need all the products that can work. And at that point too, if I do find things after going over the border that work for me, I can order them online and know that, okay, this works and this is what I want. So we'll see how that goes. The Mielle product, it worked well. It wasn't as thick as the Shea Moisture, which I like. I like things to be a little bit more water-based when it comes to his hair. The only thing I don't like water-based would be gels. Those need to be a pomade. But yeah, when it's more water-based, it's easier for it to attach itself to his hair, penetrate the shaft, and actually do the job that it's supposed to do. So I appreciate that from that product. It's just sometimes I find that when I use something over and over, it then just stops really being effective. So I was getting great results for it for a while, and then this was the same container. It wasn't even like, oh, I got a different container and then I stopped liking it. This was the same container, had a little bit left in there because like I said, it lasts a while, and I was just like, I need something else. And the something else, I ended up going back to a product. We had got the Just For Me Curl Piece Defining Curl and Coil Cream. I promise you there is never just a moisturizer, conditioner, hair butter. Like, it's 60 words. Anyways, I'd actually got this when we went on vacation to St. Lucia for his birthday. I had not taken any hair products with me. I don't know why. And I ended up needing something, so I was like, let me just go to the store and see what we have there. And I found this. It was like $18.99 EC, which works out to be probably almost 10 bucks Canadian. And I used it while I was down there and I didn't have any issues with it, but when I came back up, I was like, no, I'm going back to his normal products. And after using the Mielle for a while, I was like, no. And I'm like, I have this, so why go spend money? Let me just see how it actually works on a regular basis. And I love it. It is something that I keep going back to, I keep using. The Just For Me is like, you know, like the Just For Me perm type of brand. I'm not perming his hair. And that's why I was kind of like, this is really targeted for like girls' hair, even though there's no real difference between girls and boys' hair because hair is hair. But because it is a brand that does use, like, it makes perm, I was like, I don't know about this, but it works really well. It's lightweight. It has a smell to it, but it's not too strong. I think I used it when I used the Aussie curl conditioner, so I feel like those were both in his hair at the same time and both leaving the scent. It's not a bad smell, but you can definitely take the smell and you know, like, okay, yeah, this product was used. Okay, so grease or hair food, I use these. I don't use them super frequently, and not that I don't use them super frequently, I just don't overdo it. Like, I don't want a whole greased up head of hair because you're again blocking the hair and the shaft from allowing product to get in there, from allowing the hair to breathe, to sweat, and allowing for the hair to grow and retain its length and things like that. So I do use it, but I just don't use it in excess. So my go-to, my number one, if you guys watch our videos, you know, it is the Kuza 100% Indian hemp hair and scalp treatment. So this is very natural. It's very like using the resources to make our products type of thing. So it has pieces of the things that they use in there. So it does leave like little pieces of, I don't want to say like wood. I just don't know what exactly it is that they're putting in there. I really should. But whatever it is, it leaves those little pieces in the hair. So be mindful of that. It's not hard to take out, literally just and it comes out. But I do like to leave it in like the first day that I put it in, and then like the next day when we're getting ready to go to school or wherever we're going, I just take them out just for appearances. But I'm just like, you know what, they were put in there for a reason. Let that sit in the hair, let it penetrate for a little bit, and then I'll get rid of it after. Okay, number 2 and the last on my list is the Cream of Nature Argan Oil Day and Night Hair and Scalp Conditioner. Ooh. That's not a kids product. Neither of these are kids products, actually. I don't even know if they make kids grease. Either way, it works. It's meh. If I can't find my Kuza, that's what I use. I have no issues with it. The price point is great. There aren't any pieces left behind because it's not like the Kuza, which is 100%, you know, pure and blah, blah, blah. But this works if you're looking for something that you can easily find in the hair store from a brand that you're super familiar with. Then you can give this a shot. I just prefer to put more natural, less chemically made products in his hair, so that's why I go with the Kuza hair grease. Okay, last but not least, we're gonna be doing the gels or like the braiding grip glazes and stuff like that. It's a little controversial because I've been back and forth with this one product, but it definitely is number 1 on my list because it's what I use every day at this point. It is the Shine and Jam. It is the yellow bottle. It is a 6 hold. I feel like it wasn't always a 6 hold. I feel like they said it was more, and I was always like, this is not that strong of a hold. It's really not that strong of a hold, but I like that. I like the fact that I can put it in his hair, and by the end of the day, it's kind of like worn itself out. I don't want something that is going to harden over the day, get the hair crunchy, crusty, leave a white residue. I don't like that because then that just means now I have to wash his hair. And I probably wasn't planning on washing his hair. So products like that will just make it harder for me to take care of his hair. So I rather the Shine and Jam, which is a moderately light hold in regards to like ponytails and stuff. If I put it in his hair and he goes to school with a ponytail, when he gets home, it's a little, you know, a little frizzy fuzzy, but it's not terrible, but it's not gonna hold the whole day. Mind you, this is a 4-year-old who's in school, who's probably playing head first and everything. But yeah, that's how I feel about that in terms of like ponytails, updos, slick downs and stuff like that. But for braiding, it does the job. I don't really have that much complaints because in the moment as I'm using it, it slicks down the hair. It makes it easier for me to hold it. It keeps it in place. And then once the style is done and over the day or two, it releases that max hold, but the hair is still in place and it's still tidy and it works wonderful. And it also helps too, like if you add it to the ends of hair while you're braiding, when you take it out, it's kind of like a styling mousse. Like it gives a lot of definition to the hair. It doesn't break the hair. It doesn't dry out the hair. So I don't really have any complaints. I know I kind of get on my case about not having like a kid-based gel, but this works. It works great. I did originally, my number 1 back in the day, if you're watching the old videos, was the, I can't remember the name. It was the Curly Kids, let me get it. Oh, wow. Curly Kids and Karma's World have teamed up. That's cute. We actually really love Karma's World show in our household, so that's nice to see a product that you're familiar with also being used in a show that depicts children that look like your own, you know? Okay, found it. So it's the Curly Kids Mixed Texture Hair Care Frizz Control Paste. That was my number one. I did no hairstyle without it. And then at one point, the formula completely changed. I don't know why. They lost me at that point. I was trying to hold on, but it was just like, no, this is not working. So I stopped using that. I don't like the residue that is left with it. It does not hold anything. But maybe they changed it back, I don't know. But when it did originally change and I saw the difference that it was having and the difference that it was when I was using it in his hair, I kind of was just like, you know what, I'm done with this one. So you can give that a try. That's something that I've used in the past, but at this point it is not on our list. I have heard of some other products, especially I have one subscriber, she's always telling me about the Shea Moisture, I think it's like braiding gel, something like that, or grip something. I cannot find it to save my life. Trust me, I've looked, but it's just not here. So that is something that I'm definitely going to be looking for when I go over to the States to see if I like it. I feel like I saw a picture of it and I'm not too sure if it is really pomade based or if it's more like water based. Anything that has like the eco styler type of texture, type of formula to it, I kind of stay away from, because all it does is curls his hair right back up. It's just like wetting it in the shower. It does nothing to help me braid. Maybe it might be okay for like putting his hair in a ponytail, but for something for braiding, water-based is not the way to go for us, not at all. All right, so oil is really important. You don't want to overdo oil. You don't want anything that is too thick, but when you wash their hair, you do want to do your LCO or LOC method. That way you can get all the moisture and hydration in the hair. You're going to lock it into the hair so that whether you're doing a protective style or you're leaving their hair out, you're going to have the hair feeling good and not damaging over the week or two that you have the hair in its natural state. So my number one, always been and probably will always be, would be olive oil. I used olive oil in the beginning solely because he had cradle cap and I needed something to help with that, and it worked wonderfully. I mean, cradle cap is not going to go away. You can help it be lessened throughout the day and throughout its time with your child, but you're not going to be able to like, oh, I'm just going to put some olive oil and like wash it out, brush it out, and it's going to go away. Not going to happen. So since I was using olive oil and it was working so well, I was like, I'm going to continue using olive oil. My mom had told me about using olive oil for cradle cap, and it was literally just like regular extra virgin olive oil that was like in my cupboard that I was using. So I was like, well, this is great. I'm already buying oil to cook with, so I didn't really have to spend much on like little bottles of oil at the hair store. But either one that you want to use, any type of olive oil product, yeah, it'll work. My next thing would be JBCO, Jamaican Black Castor Oil. Now the thing with castor oil, it is thick, okay? Thicker than a Snicker. It is thick. So you have to dilute it. You have to water it down with something. So I suggest any of your other favorite oils. So you could put some olive oil in there or whatever that you kind of go to in regards to oils, but I wouldn't use JBCO by itself. I would definitely add something to the Jamaican Black Castor Oil, or you can add it to your moisturizers or your creams as you're using it and kind of just get a 2-in-1 that way. But yeah, castor oil by itself, there are also the options of having like the lavender one, because the castor oil has a really distinct smell to it, and it's not a nice smell. It's not real aromatic. So if you want to add other types of oils in also for like to help with fragrance, you can do that. Or they even sell the Jamaican Black Castor Oil with lavender. That's what we're currently using. I kind of just prefer the regular castor oil. I don't really care too much for the lavender one. I just only had the option of lavender. That was all that was on the shelf. So when this one is done, I'm going to go back to the regular, normal, just plain scented castor oil. And lastly, I would go with peppermint oil. This is something that's really great to mix with the castor oil that I find. So my go-to mix for castor oil would be peppermint oil, and then I would have the olive oil being used by itself, but any mixture works. Peppermint oil is really great for low porosity hair, which is what Kamari has. So we add that into our routine as much as we can. They do come in like small little bottles. I think they're like $2.99 or something like that. But again, oil isn't going to be used as quickly as something else. You're not like dousing their hair with oil every day. That would be really bad. So you are going to get a bit of longevity out of that $2.99 bottle. Now, in terms of treatments for the hair, you can do a deep conditioning treatment. You can do a hot oil treatment. I have no problems with them. For me, I just don't have the time because you're going to wash the hair. It already takes me 6 years in a day to get through shampoo and conditioner with his hair. To then add these products in, let it sit, usually let it sit under heat. I'm not really that big of a heat person, so is it really going to be beneficial if I'm not doing it with heat? And then once it's done and it started to get hard and dried out, and like, this is the next thing. His hair is low porosity. His hair dries so quickly. So by the time I've let it sit and I've let these products do what they're supposed to do, I now have to go put it back in the water and start it all over again. And then you gotta shampoo, condition, wash it out, and then get to styling. I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't have the most time in the world, and that is a process. Wash day already takes 2 days because I'm washing, conditioning on the first day. I'm doing the LCO or LOC method, plaiting it, and then I'm doing the style the next day. That's a lot. It's a lot to have to then add in. And I know that you're not doing deep conditioning treatments and hot oil treatments every week, but it's a lot at any given time. So if you have the time, by all means, I highly suggest that you can add them into your schedule, into your routine. But if you don't feel too bad, because we don't, and his hair is generally healthy. For hot oil treatments, you're gonna get whatever oils you prefer. You can add, you can mix them, you can use just one, whatever. You're gonna add them into the hair after you've washed out your shampoo and washed out your conditioner, and then you're gonna let it sit on the hair. You're gonna put a shower cap or a plastic bag, whatever works for you, and then you're gonna add heat. So you can either like put the blow dryer underneath, you can have one of those blow dryer cap sets that you can get at like the hair store or Amazon. You can sit them under a dryer, or if you don't have anything like that, you just have like a blow dryer, you can just blow dry the hair. You do that for like 5, 10, up to 20, 30 minutes, whatever works best for you, whatever you think will be beneficial for their hair. And then you wash it out. I would do another round of conditioner just in case. And then that's that. Those you can add into your routine, I would say, maybe like depending on how many times you wash their hair. With us, generally, I would try and wash Kamari's hair every week or two. The way that his hair gets so dry so easily and so quickly, and the fact that his hair is low porosity, which means it dries out even quicker, if his hair is not in a braided style, we need to wash it. I've also been thinking about adding like a spray, like not like a braid spray type of thing, like a leave-in? No, there's one that I use when I braid my hair. I'll show you guys a picture of it. And it helps a lot with braided hair and keeping the moisture and stuff like that. So I want to find something that I could kind of use like that when his hair is braided, just to keep adding in the moisture. I mean, even though I don't use that, when I take his hair out from his styles, his hair is not dry, there's no problem with it. But when I then leave it for like a day or two until we get to wash day, that's when I start to see that the hair is, you know, getting dry and stuff like that. So anything that you can do to add the moisture and keep that moisture in even while it's in a protective style, that's a plus. And obviously, you know, keeping the hair well maintained while it's not in a protective style. What I suggest, if they have their hair out, like if you're just like, you know what, this week is not the week to be braided, that's fine, because I have those weeks myself. What I do though, either before they go to bed or while they're home playing. I put his hair in two braids, or I will just braid the ends quickly before bed, and then take it out, put it up in a bun, whatever. One, it's beneficial because you're keeping the ends protected. That is the most important part. The roots of the hair, important, but the ends of the hair, that's where the breakage can occur. That's when all the drying out can occur. So whatever you do, as long as you keep the ends protected, especially in like the winter right now, if you have their hair out in a bun, instead of having it in a ponytail, put it in an actual bun and wrap the ends so that the ends are wrapped up, and then you put the elastic. That's a way to protect their ends. So yeah, so just put a couple braids in, either two cornrows going straight back, or like 2 to 4 just big braids. He looks like Pippi Longstocking a lot of the time when we're home, just so his hair doesn't get too dry, too matted, anything like that. I hope you guys are sticking with me. We're almost at the end. I know I've talked about the things that I do recommend, the things that I do like. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of brands or products that I've just kind of not had the best time with and I've stayed away from. So number one would be Aunt Jackie's Not Today. That I heard about all over the internet. Everyone's using it. Oh, I love this. No, even my friend, she uses it in her daughter. It doesn't work for us. I will say her daughter's hair texture is a little bit different than Kamari's. It's more of like a 4A, I'm not gonna say 4B, but it's definitely a 4 type texture. So it all just, I guess, depends, but it was not on our list. I probably still have the bottle somewhere. Like, I used it once and I was just like, no, this is not it. So it's sitting there. Next would be As I Am. I've used 2 things from As I Am. I can only remember one, which is the curly jelly. And I think the other one was a moisturizing mask, hair mask. I don't like it. The mask was way too thick, even for my hair, because I was like, you know what, let me just try this in my hair after. It was just, no, it was not working. And the curling jelly, it didn't do anything. It didn't really activate the curl. Well, I'm not gonna say that. It's not thick, so it does get into the hair, but I just didn't see much of a difference between any other products that I was using. It was a little drying, and what else was there with it? Yeah, I couldn't use it for much else. Like, when I was trying to like put his hair in one after, the hair was just like in a different, I don't know, there's just a different feel to it. So it was not a vibe for me. I was not liking it. As I Am is not, I'm not gonna say it's off the list completely. There is one thing from As I Am that I do want to try. There's like a kids or baby line. I'm gonna see how I feel about those products, but for now, no. The whole TGIN line, all of it, top to bottom, not for us. I don't know if it's his porosity or his texture or what it is, but none of the products have worked in his hair. None of the products do anything for us except for provide buildup and just thickness on the hair. So it's a no-go for TGIN. The Cantu Care for Kids Curl Refresher. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the Cantu line that has to do with anything other than the shampoo or conditioner. The Curl Refresher did nothing. I'm better off adding water to his hair. With the Curl Refresher, there's other products and chemicals and things in it. For me to spray it with that and for it to do nothing, I'll just stick to water in a bottle. I promise you guys, the best way to hydrate your kid's hair during the week, whether it's in a style or it's out, especially in the morning when you're just like, put in a ponytail, or just trying to reset their curls, water. Cheap, because it's free. Super accessible because it's in your house. All you need to do is just get a really good spray bottle. Again, don't even overthink it. Dollar store, Dollar Tree, get a spray bottle, add your water. Some people too, they add water and like their favorite oil in there. That didn't really do much for me, but feel free to try it out. But yeah, definitely a really great spray bottle and some water, and it will help you through anything. Now, the Mielle Moisture RX Hawaiian Ginger Moisturizing Leave-In Conditioner. Thick, really thick, just thick. Just sat on the hair and left like a residue, like a sticky kind of feel to it. I'm just not a fan of leave-in conditioners, and that one definitely showed me why. So for us, that was a no. And coconut oil, like, I'm sorry, this might be an unpopular opinion, it might ruffle some feathers, but coconut oil in our household, unnecessary. I don't use coconut oil, and I don't use coconut oil in Kamari. Coconut oil for us dries our hair, like dry, brittle, gross feeling to the hair. I think coconut oil has really been overhyped in the natural hair community. It worked for a bunch of people and everyone kind of just ran with it. You have to pay attention to your kids' hair type, their porosity, their texture, everything that goes into their hair. You have to pay attention and don't just use what works for other people. Like this video, I'm letting you guys know what works for us because you guys want to know, but also there's a lot of people that said, oh, our son's hair types are the same, you know, they're similar. That's great. So if they're similar and you're looking for something, this is an avenue that you can go down, but they don't necessarily work for everybody. So I will say that coconut oil may work for you. Definitely look into coconut oil, see if it's beneficial for you, your hair, your child's hair. For us, it did nothing. We take coconut oil off the shelf. I try to limit the products with coconut oil. Sometimes a product may not be that bad on the hair if it has coconut oil, and that's because the other ingredients in there are overpowering and overweighing that. So keep an eye out, see what has worked and what hasn't worked for you. You go into your product drawer and see, oh, you know what, like this didn't work for some reason. You read the products and you see coconut oil, that may be why. Alright guys, so that wraps up this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was educational for you guys. I hope you guys had a little pen and paper to take some notes. If there is anything that I did not touch on, please let me know. You can let us know in the comments. You can send us a DM on Instagram at keepingupwithkham. We always respond. We always love to hear from you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. And please share this video with your friends and family, because the more you know, the more you grow. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.